And so the higher self is like that too. It loves you and it says, got the next version of you. Will you accept? And if you say yes, in the softness, you will release, your back will open, your heart softens, and whatever is meant to release in that identity, it will let go because it's time.
Welcome to the Prosperity Playground, the podcast where business meets energetics, strategy meets soul, and prosperity becomes inevitable. I'm your host, Anna Lozano, mom, founder, investor, mentor, and energetics in business expert. This is your weekly activation to rewire how you think and feel about wealth, success, and personal power, because it's not about working harder, it's about regulating deeper, aligning stronger, and receiving wider. You don't hustle for your future, you calibrate to your higher self. Join me weekly for high-level conversations with the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders. True prosperity isn't just about money. It's about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Welcome to the playground. Let's build your most prosperous life. Welcome back to the Prosperity Playground podcast. Today's episode is a little different, and honestly, it is truly magical. I'm joined by my dear friend Tara Antler for a conversation all about the higher self, who she is, how to access her, and why reconnecting to that part of ourselves changes everything in business, life, energy, and the way that we lead. This episode is for the woman who is done forcing, done hustling, and done believing she has to grind her way to success. It's for the founder, the mother, the leader, the creator who knows there is a more aligned way, a more powerful, intuitive, and supported way to build. In this conversation, Tara guides us into what it truly means to connect with your higher self, how to create space to receive guidance, and how just 5 intentional minutes can shift the way you move through your day, your decisions, and your business. We talk about energetic resistance, identity shifts, receivership, and what it looks like to soften into the next version of ourselves instead of bulldozing our way there. And then something happens, loves. Oh my gosh, right near the end of the episode, in the middle of the powerful conversation around receivership and being supported by something greater than ourselves, my microphone suddenly cuts out. Completely. I'm no longer a part of the conversation. Tara takes over the show and she closes the episode so beautifully, so intuitively, so powerfully that it honestly felt like a sign from above. A reminder that I'm fully supported, a reminder that we are fully supported, a reminder that when we surrender, when we trust, when we let ourselves receive, something greater can move through us. It was one of those moments you truly can't script, and it made this episode even more special. So if you're driving, you may want to save this one for later because Tara also leads a beautiful higher self activation that is meant to be received with your full presence. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and let this episode meet you exactly where you are. Enjoy the show, loves. Welcome to the Prosperity Playground podcast. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm buzzing right now.
I love that. Pre-recording, we were chatting how we're both buzzing. So the first thing that I would absolutely love to invite you to do is, can you just ground us in, everyone tuning in, everyone listening, everyone joining us today, just to anchor the energy of all of us in the now, in the present moment.
Yes, we can definitely do that. I would love that. I welcome that right now in this moment. So together, we're going to take a deep breath in. If you have your eyes open or closed, it's totally fine. I'm going to close mine for a moment. I'm going to focus in on my breath. So together, we take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we allow ourselves to arrive, to be here, to be present. And in this moment together, we set the intention for the highest and best good to come through, the highest and best conversation to open up for both Anna and I, and for all those who are tuning in, so that Anna and I also get to tap into you and your higher self. And then we get to have the conversation that best supports you along your journey in this moment, and that we're all connected across time and space. So in this moment, may all of our hearts be open and expansive. May our minds and our higher mind and higher consciousness be open and expansive. And may our bodies also be grounded and present so that we can receive all the goodness that wants to flow through this conversation today and into infinity. And so it is.
And so it is. Goosebumps. Like literally, you can still see them. So beautiful. Thank you for joining me here. We're both actually recording this live from the little village that we're spending winter in Mexico. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's just so lovely to be tuned in. So I ran a beautiful founders retreat in January where I had the pleasure of having you there facilitate an incredible higher self activation for us. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited to bring that depth of expansion and experience to the show. So it's not your typical podcast interview where we will be conversing and teaching, but really my intention for this episode today is for everyone to just reconnect to her, to their higher
Mhm.
self, to anchor in. And of course, we will finish with what your one of your magical gifts is an activation and really
Yeah.
supporting us to dive in. So if you're driving, probably not the best episode to tune into. So I say like hit pause,
We'll be
check
like,
out
pull
another
over,
one.
pause the vehicle.
Either pause the vehicle and really drop in with us or pause the episode, check out
Yes.
another one, and then make sure you tune into this one where you can devote this time to really drop in presently and consciously. So, Tara, thank you for being here.
I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. And I love and appreciate you so, so much. I love that you're doing this. You're such an inspiration to so many people. And thank you so much for also having me at your retreat. It allowed me to see the power of this work that we know, like we all know it from an energetic spiritual perspective, but also from that business perspective that when people are really wanting to move and grow and expand themselves, how this inner self, the higher self work is so important because once that opens up, oh my gosh, it was like watching everyone in your group lit up. And then they were able to like really step into the magic of what you brought to the table as well. So it was a really beautiful, harmonious weaving of the energy and it felt very balanced.
Oh, and again, goosebumps. And I think this is the work now. You and I are seasoned entrepreneurs. We've been doing this for a long
Mhm.
time. But the paradigm that we get to co create and weave now is different. It feels
Yes.
different. You know, right now, when I hear the word hard or I'm hustling or grinding my way through it, like I've
Mhm.
been there, done that, and a big no
Yeah.
fucking thank you
No.
for the future because it gets to be done in a different way. But we're, you know, especially female founders, female entrepreneurs, so many of us have been programmed to do it the other way
Mhm.
because our only evidence of success was always the
Yeah.
being surrounded by men, very
Yeah.
bro energy.
Yeah.
And we thought we had to be that way in order to experience success in business. And now,
Mhm.
so many of us, I would say a large percentage of us is saying, like, no, we're going to
No.
create the new, we're going to do it this way. And so, let's weave the conversation into um, all areas of life, but specifically zoned in on business. So if we're
Mhm.
hearing a lot about higher self, um, you know, this elevated version of ourselves, this highest truth, but what does it actually mean if we can really dive
Yeah.
into the explanation of so that we can open up ourselves logically and then dive right into heart. So what is
Mhm.
our higher self? Who is she?
Yeah. Yeah, I love this. So, my first experience of my higher self was actually when I was 14. I learned to meditate by
Mhm.
myself on a rock in Northern Ontario. And I had been studying and learning different modalities of religion and spirituality. And when I discovered meditation, that was the first time I experienced my higher self. It was this vision and image of me, not my 14-year young self, but the version of me maybe in her 30s and who she was about to become. And she was so light filled and she was like the goddess, kind of like what I'm wearing now. I'm wearing this very goddessy dress. Is she was the goddess and she was so creative and so expansive and being able to move life and create life and feel life and experience life in this really big, beautiful way. And I didn't really know what that meant when I saw that vision and I felt her for the first time until fast forward. forward, when I was studying as a holistic healthcare practitioner, I was in one of these classes with one of my favorite teachers to this day, and it was called Spiritual Human Energy Nexus, Shen. And he guided us through this experience to meet our higher self. And the
Mm,
moment he took us there, I saw this same vision and version of myself. And I said,
mm,
that's what I saw. So the higher self, and sometimes there's a confusion as to, is it the soul? Yes and
mm,
no. We're going to go up to come back down for a second. Okay. So if we could go all the way up to creator energy, let's go all the way up to everything that exists. Some people say spirit, source, creator, God, the infinite, the divine, source. There's many names for the same thing, but there is this higher energy that holds everything and everyone. It holds all of life. Think of it like
mm,
this, in a big ball. And then within that big ball, we've got all these experiences that are our soul. So there's your soul, my soul, Gabriel's soul, our kid's soul, everybody's. Our souls are all within this bigger cell, this bigger sphere. Now, each soul says, I want to maximize my experience. I've got things that I want to do. I've got things I want to create. There's life that I want to change. There's learning that I want to do. And it can, like a tree, if you look at a tree and a branch, it can split itself. The tree doesn't just grow straight up like this and be like, I'm a tree, and it doesn't have branches.
yeah.
Any tree, even palm trees, have what's called fractals. They have smaller representations of itself. So, especially like if you look at a pine tree, I love them because each little pine branch, the tiny little needles on it, if you
Mm,
really look at it and you broke a piece off and you turned it vertically, you'd be like, oh, this is a pine tree. So, the little tiniest part of the pine tree is actually the
yeah.
whole thing, and the whole thing is the smallest piece. And so your soul says, I want to maximize my experience here. So I'm going to create different lives, different experiences across time and space. It's not bound by time and space. So it opens itself up and it says, I'm going to create these different versions of life. So there's the version of you and I, Anna, that are sitting here. There's me and
Yeah.
there's you. That each version is assigned a higher self. That higher self
Mm,
holds the frequency, the vision, the codes, the design, the learning, the lessons of everything that your soul set out to accomplish. It holds it like a divine design. And it says, when you forget, I'm going to be here steady and strong. I'm not going to sway. I'm not going to veer from this plan. I know the highest experience, the highest expression of who you are to become, and I'll just
yeah.
hold it. And when you say, I want to become the highest experience of myself, then it activates that and it opens up and reveals itself to you. And you can feel it because it feels inviting, it feels sparkly, it feels joyful. For some people, it feels peaceful. The lower self is like the ego, the shadow, and it often comes with like competition, comparison, feeling less than, feeling unworthy. Then you have your human self, which is the mixed bag of what we all experience. But then the higher self says, I've got a big vision for you. I'm going to hold the high watch like a lighthouse. And the moment that you say, yes, I want to live as my higher self, it opens up your crown, the top of your head. It opens it up and it pours into you. So, this is where when people say, I got this drop down, I had this divine insight, I had this spontaneous idea pop in that seemed to come out of nowhere. Yes, it's connected to your soul. And yes, it's connected to Creator God, the infinite, the divine, but it's traveling down through from those
Mm,
higher realms, and it passes through your higher self so that it can communicate to you in a way that you can understand it. Because
mm,
sometimes Creator's vision is so big that if we don't have like an interpreter, sometimes we're like, I think I got something, but I don't know if I got something, right? And then we're left in this moment, we're like, I don't know. But the higher self says, I know, and I know how to translate it for you. And when it comes to business, I remember feeling this when I was watching my parents growing up in an entrepreneurial household and seeing them build business from the ground up. And I remember thinking to myself, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for someone else. I want to create my own business. And I remember the first time that I did, I registered my business 25 years ago. And I remember this drop down came in and it said, business is a way for you to express your higher self in the world because you can create anything. You can do
mm.
anything and you get to create it however you want. And I was like, sweet, it's a playground, just like the prosperity playground. It's a playground. And so that's how I would describe the higher self.
Oh, so good. So for anyone in their logical side right now, like she, likely you're a female founder listening to the show, is accessible to all. Now, men have higher selves also. So if you're tuning in, she, him, accessible to every single one of us in each moment in time. I think this is the key remembering is we get to access at any moment in time. And
Mhm.
so the programming, the conditioning, the belief systems, the stories, the experiences, all of it is part of our human experience. And we have access to this
Mhm.
her that, oh my gosh, like when you describe her, I was like, yes, like the feeling is peace and magnetism, and it's just pure love and it's trust and it's this inner knowing, and we get disconnected through our human experience. Let's hit pause for just a moment because if you run a small business, whether you are a shop owner or a brand, I want to make sure that you know about Fair. Fair is the largest wholesale marketplace connecting over hundreds of thousands of brands and retailers. And here's why it matters. If you own a shop, you know how hard it is to find unique products and the countless hours that go into sourcing. Fair makes it easy to stock your shelves with items your customers will not find in big box stores, and it lets you sell that stock before you even have to pay, thanks to their 60-day payment terms. And if you're a brand, you know how much time and energy it takes to get your products into new retailers. Fair changes that. Imagine your products being discovered by retailers around the world. No endless cold pitching, no sales reps, no knocking on doors, just retail shops finding you and reordering again and again. I truly love companies that create a true win-win business, and that is exactly what Fair does, giving brands the visibility that they need while supporting retailers with their cash flow. It makes growth possible for both sides of the table. So whether you're looking for fresh products to stock or ready to get your brand into more stores, check out Fair. It's where small businesses grow together. And as a little bonus, if you are a retailer and haven't made an order through Fair before, you can use code Prosperity10 for 10% off your first order. All right, let's get back to this episode. And so if we
100%.
talk about reconnecting, can you give us some tools, something very, I guess, easily accessible in the
Mhm.
day-to-day moment by moment to connect back in? Because
Mm.
what I'm hearing from female founders is great, you have time and space to meditate, or whatever the excuse comes through. Like, I
Mhm.
don't have time, I am too busy, or I have too much energy to meditate or to drop in. And listen, I'm someone 4-6 generator, tons of energy, and I call bullshit on that because I use that
Yeah.
excuse. And I use that excuse because I was likely too scared to receive what was meant to come through for me in my stillness. I wasn't ready for it. And now
Mhm.
I am. And so, whatever excuse is coming through, it's okay. This is a safe
Mhm.
space, and you get to access her at any moment in time. So, how do we do that?
Mhm. Yeah, it's such a good question. And I love this too because I'm a 1-4 manifester. And so manifestor energy, like we go like fast energy. On top of that, I'm Aquarius. So I'm woo, like let's go. I also have a lot of earth. Like thank God I have Taurus and I've got Capricorn because if not, I'd be like, phew,
You'd
like
be
there I go.
floating.
Oh, I'd be floating. And I think that's the balance, and that's part of what I'm so grateful for that my consciousness came in with was that I can access these higher realms and then bring it down and teach it where it feels accessible. And it seems like, yes, you
Yeah.
can ground your higher self. And Gabriel and I, when we have 3 little ones, they're now, Arya's about to be 10 and the boys are 7. We have twin boys. And at one point when we had all 3 under 3, Gabriel and I, we like really, when people say I didn't have time, we really did not have time. I was functioning on 2 hours of sleep a night, and my spiritual practice was still very important to me. At that time is when our company exponentially, like I would say we grew by 1,000% in those first 3 years of having our 3 little ones under 3. And it wasn't because we worked harder, because I didn't have the time to work harder. I was functioning on 2 hours of sleep for the first 6 months. And I realized my spiritual practice was of the utmost importance. I had great strategy, so that is important.
Mm.
You can still have your analytical mind. That's important. You can still have the fire and the energy to go do the things into action. That's important. And the thing that allowed us to expand and grow in the way that we did and reach the masses that we did at that time, which still is like mind blowing to me, is because of our spiritual practice. And we had to learn how to simplify it to
Wow.
5 minutes. So Gabriel and I have these practices that we had practiced from the time he was 3 and me that I was 14. And we said, what if we took these hour-long practices or 30-minute practices and condensed it down to 5 minutes? Would they still work? So we were our own best case study. We said, let's try it. We've got nothing to lose. We've got 2 hours of day to invest in our business. The rest of the time we're with children. And so we tried out these 5-minute practices and they worked. And so we started teaching them to our clients and they worked. And we started saying that for the people that were super, super busy or couldn't still their mind, 5-minute practices and they worked. There was someone in this community just the other day, he messaged me and he's going through a really challenging thing. And he said to me, can you pray and hold space? And I said, yeah, for sure. And I was trying to find this one particular 5-minute practice. And I said, you know what? It's shorter for me to actually re-record the 5-minute practice for you than me trying to find in our library of meditations. And he said that 5-minute practice, he's somebody who he has tried to meditate. He can't still his mind, monkey mind, busyness, active athlete, business owner, like very, very successful being. That 5 minutes he was able to do. So here's the key is you have to be able to give yourself 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So just choose. I choose 5 minutes. Am I worth 5 minutes? Yes. Is my
Yes.
patience and my inner stability and my calm and my expansion, is it worth 5 minutes? Yes.
Yes.
Is my business worth giving myself 5 minutes? Yes. You have to start there because if we
Mm.
don't, then we're just going to race and race and do and do and do. And like you said at the very beginning, that hustle energy, especially if any of you are mamas out there, like there's a different energy required of you. And so we want to show up different. We want to create business in a new way. And that is balance and that is harmony. And it starts, we all know everything's an inside job. That starts with us. So choose first. I've got 5 minutes. That's the first place you have to start. I have 5 minutes. Once you say I have 5 minutes, go take your 5 minutes. Okay. Tell your kids if you have little ones, I'm going to the bathroom for 5 minutes if I need to, or mommy's going for a walk for 5 minutes if you need to. Go sit somewhere 5 minutes. The moment you tell your brain that, your brain will relax a little bit and go, oh, I've got 5 minutes. Of course I got 5 minutes. You probably waste more time scrolling on Facebook
Yeah.
in your 5 minutes, right?
100%. Yeah.
So I've got 5 minutes. Right. So then the next thing is to just drop in, start with your breath and just drop in and get present. With every inhale, I choose to get present. Every exhale, I ground. Once you feel present, just for a moment, feet on the ground, connected to your breath, you're connecting to your heart. Your heart, we all know about heart coherence. Your heart loves to expand. It loves when you consciously just breathe and be. So just focus on your breath. It doesn't have to be any fancy technique. Just breathe. The breath was given to you by Creator. It was given to every single one of us as a gift. That gift to breathe is the pause. I was teaching a class on this the other day. The original breathing and breath work was pranayama in yoga. Pranayama. Prana is the key word. We are not just breathing oxygen. You are breathing life force. Prana is life force. Prana is chi. So you're actually breathing the life force energy when you slow down and take a breath. So instead of just, I'm taking in oxygen, I'm doing this to still my nervous system, that's one part of it. I studied health sciences and physiology. I know what happens on a physiological level. And there's what's happening in the energy. And I'm sharing this because your higher self is deeply connected to energy. So if you can start to retrain your body and your breathing, I am breathing in energy. I am breathing in prana. I am breathing in life force. You're awakening something deep within you that exists within every human being, that we are energy first. You were energy before you were a body. You were energy before you were anything else. You were energy somewhere in the ethers before you even chose to come into this earth experience. So when you say, I'm breathing in prana, I'm breathing in energy, now you're starting to awaken something very ancient within you that remembers. That's why when you say, I got the chills, you're remembering. Well, we can have like happy tears. We're remembering. When something speaks to us, we're remembering. And so step number 1, choose 5 minutes. Step number 2, just breathe. 3 deep breaths. And as you're breathing, I'm breathing in prana. I'm breathing in energy. And the third thing is just taking your vision in and up. So just imagine I'm looking in and up. I'm looking out through the top of my head and you see this long channel of light. It's like an umbilical cord. We all came in with an umbilical cord, right? When we
Yeah.
got here in earth form, we have an umbilical cord that connects to source, that connects to our higher self. So even if you can imagine that there's this current of light, and I like to envision a ball of light, and I
Mm,
just plug in. That's why I called my show 10 years ago, Plug In and Power Up, because we're
mm,
plugging in to our higher self and we're fueling ourselves. We're powering up with prana, with life force energy. So you could just sit for 5 minutes and just allow, like we did at the very beginning of this call, plug in to source energy, plug into your higher self, plug into the divine, and let it pour through you. Okay.
mm.
The second quick tool, and I have been doing this for at least 20 years now. When I wake up in the morning, this is super quick, doesn't even take 5 minutes. The moment I open my eyes, I say, thank you. Thank you for another day.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, Spirit, Source, Creator, God, I surrender to my higher self, or I surrender to my higher will. Move through me today.
Mm,
Lead through me today. Before I got on here, I sat and I said, speak through me, lead through
yeah.
me. So that whatever comes through me, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to
Yeah.
go up into my head. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of tasks where we use our analytical brain. You've all mastered that. This is
Mm,
where we get to tap into an even higher frequency, higher self. Speak through me today. Lead through me today. Work through me today. Make decisions through me today. That is a prayer that I have had for more than 20 years. And I'm telling you, it has changed my life because I don't
yeah.
have to overthink. I don't have to over decide. I can make really quick decisions because I trust and I know it's coming. I can even feel it as I'm saying this. There's like a tingle on the top of my head because I know that higher self holds and has the higher plan. And when I call that in,
Yeah.
then life gets easier.
Mm. So if we can create that as our foundational strategy,
Mhm.
everything will feel like ease in the effort because we are going to take steps. For everyone listening, we're entrepreneurs, we're founders, we're creators, we are going to move. Like we trust ourselves to do. We trust ourselves to move. But what if this 5 minutes is the foundational strategy so that when you move in connection to creator, quantum field
Mhm.
realm, anything and everything that is meant to move through you actually flows through you. So the action that you're taking is way more productive, way more efficient,
Exactly.
and it generates the results that you're also seeking. But it happens like this
Yes.
versus trying to make it happen or force it in the way that we have been programmed to do. And so I believe this is the foundational strategy for every single founder who
Mhm.
wants to create a life and business that they are just wildly obsessed with because it
Yeah.
feels a different way. And I had a beautiful client share on a mastermind called yesterday this sentence of ease in the effort. And I was like, this is so beautiful
Yes.
because it's that feeling of ease. That ease comes from the alignment. And so if we can
Mhm.
align first and then make the action, the doing, the effort, it will feel like ease because
Mhm.
it's guided, divinely guided. So beautiful. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for sharing that. Um, I wanted to ask you when we do this work, because this is from personal experience,
Mhm.
especially when we are about to step into a next version, a next iteration, there is oftentimes contrast and resistance.
Yes.
And I sent you a voice note this morning. I was like, I just had a beautiful keynote. It went exactly as I visualized it, as I prayed on it and connected. Sitting on the toilet in Burlington,
I love
Ontario,
it.
connected. As you said, the toilet. I was like, yeah, I was sitting on the toilet
Yeah.
right before I was supposed to go on. And I'm like, God, like, I am just the vessel. Like, channel through
That's
me,
right.
allow me to speak your truth for in every way that is meant for the
Mhm.
audience to experience growth and shifts. And so, um, but what I have been feeling physically is a
Mm.
little bit of pressure. And this is what I was sharing
Mhm.
with you in my voice note is like, pre heading to this keynote and still to this moment, I am feeling pressure underneath my angel wing, I like to call it.
Right
And,
side or left side?
on my right side.
Uh,
And you know how if it's muscular from the gym or playing pickleball, I would know this is
yes.
energetic. And I know I am on a precipice of
Yes.
what is next. And so that's what I'm physically
Mhm.
experiencing. But what I would love for you to tune into is for anyone who is doing or beginning to do this work or is consistent with this work, but they're feeling a little bit of pressure. And we know it's energetic pressure, or they're feeling a little bit of resistance, energetic resistance, or they're
Mhm.
experiencing the contrast. I'm so
Mm.
focused on, and the reality is this, and it's in direct opposition of the very
Mhm.
thing that they desire. That is showing us something. So if you could lead us through that. And then again,
Mhm.
if there's another practice or something that we can move through in order to move through this more eloquently.
Yeah, so the body always speaks to us, right? Like the
Yeah.
body, many have heard this now that the body doesn't lie. The body will speak to us and it will tell us what we're holding on to, what we're facing, what we need to grow through. And it is an identity shift. So when we're
Yeah.
becoming that next version of ourselves, I mean, I've gone through many iterations of my business.
Yes.
I think about all the times like where I first started body elements holistic healing because I was a holistic healthcare practitioner. And when I hit that point where I knew it was done, I could feel my own body going through this inner turmoil. It almost felt like
Yeah.
grief. And that's kind of what I was feeling in the back for you. There's like structure and grief, there's structure
Mm.
and change, and it all has to do with your heart energy. So
Mm.
I keep hearing for you, there's an ask of your higher self to open even more. It's like open more heart, open to more, there's receptivity, but there's also heart extension being asked of you now. And I'll leave you a message more about it because I was getting some like bing, bing, bing,
Mm.
bing, 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 bing over to the side.
I
So,
love
yeah,
working
so
with
I could
you.
probably leave like a 20-minute voice
Let me
note for you.
let me just do a plug here. Like I'm so grateful to have you as a friend and as a gifted practitioner, because when I'm like, I need to move through something fast, like Tara's there. And I witnessed you not only in my own life, but shifting women at the retreat. And it's like they were there logically, they were there, they felt it, but they just needed that extra little energetic shift to recalibrate into that next version. And so you're just such a gifted practitioner. Like, thank you for the work that you do in the world. It is truly transformative.
Oh, now you have me having chills. I've got chills. It
Mm,
started down my up my legs, and
mm,
now it's all on my arms and my face. Thank you so much for sharing that. I received that. I received
mm.
that so much. Yeah, so it's being able to recognize when there are those pings or pressure or moments because we are going to go through an evolution. Right now the
Yes.
whole world's going through evolution and change. And so our businesses are going to have to follow suit. Our identity is going to have to change too. And so
Yeah.
when there are these changes happening where you feel them, whether it's physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or you see something in the world, or you're like, this one has happened for us so much in the last year. It's like we want to keep moving it in this direction. You got to want to keep moving in this direction. You want to keep moving in this direction. And you just keep feeling like, no, 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 no. And you finally go, okay, I'm listening. Like we're hard-headed, right? We're very strong.
Yeah.
We're hard-headed. Some would say stubborn. I think persistent. I think we are just very persistent beings. We're like, no, I've got the tenacity, I've got the strength, I've got the willpower, I got the go energy. We'll go. And then all of a sudden everything's like, just stop for a second. So if ever
Yeah.
you feel that, whether it's your body, the world, life, your business, or you're wanting to move a specific thing forward or a strategy, just stop for a second. That was the beauty of what I
Mm,
witnessed in your group at your
mm.
retreat when they all just, I felt the moment when they all just softened in. They dropped in.
Yeah.
And originally, when you and I talked, we said, we're going to do higher self and then let them receive. So I had this whole playlist designed for that. And soon as I got into the room, I'm like, no, we are switching this order. So I literally had
Yeah.
to reverse it because what they all needed most was to drop in and receive. And this happens when you are a founder and an entrepreneur and a mom, and you're holding space for everyone. You're
Yes.
holding space for all of it. And when you're holding everything, there's a point where you need to drop in and be held. So I would say, if you're going through that inner transformation or something's about to change or your identity is about to shift, think about when children are growing. When children go through growing pains or their growth
Yes.
spurts, they sleep a lot and they revert back to their baby like self. They cuddle
Mm.
more. They're softer. They cry a little bit more. They give more snuggles and hugs. They want to be held even more because they can sense
Mm.
something is shifting. And when we can do that as adults, where we're like, you know what, maybe I sign up for something that's more restorative. Maybe I do some more
Mm.
energy work. Maybe I drop into a meditation that's so nourishing, or set up for yourself. I say this to clients, I do this for myself all the time. I have this beautiful space here. I will lay in Shavasana. I'll put pillows under my knees. I put pillows all around me so that I feel like I can soften and relax. Get a good
Yeah.
playlist with less words that can soften you and you relax. Get into a body of water and float. Hang
Mm.
in a hammock if you need to. Give yourself the experience of being held for a moment so that every cell, like even as I say that, I feel like I'm melting. And as I
Mhm.
melt, my body structure says, I can let go. You're safe. Your mind says, oh, we're growing. Okay, great. We don't have to do this in a harsh, heavy way. We can actually let go and release and move into the next version of ourselves with ease and grace. And I think that's what we need
Oh,
more of now is more ease and grace. It's
yes.
like people refer to the butterfly all the time. And I know you're not gonna love this next thing that I'm gonna say because I know you. The butterfly is the most common thing that people use as transformation. But think
Yeah.
about what happens to the butterfly. It's got to eat. The caterpillar's got to eat, and 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 get really big. And then it's got to create this whole beautiful chrysalis. And it goes in and it has to completely dematerialize itself and turn into liquid mush and then rebuild itself. And then when it's ready to come out of the cocoon, it has to force itself. It has to pump its wings to be able to fly. And then finally it's beautiful and it emerges. When you think about, and you know what I'm gonna say now. When you think about the release of a snake, and I say this because Anna does not like snakes. And at the retreat, there was a snake hanging in the tree above where we were doing our healing circle. And then the day that the girls, our young ones, had their goddess circle, remember there was a snake curled up in the bushes?
Yeah.
So this was showing up a couple times. Now think about what the snake does, or a crab. When it
Yeah.
outgrows its shell or a snake outgrows its skin, it has to soften. It doesn't
Mm.
dematerialize. It just softens and it relaxes its muscles and it slides out of the old and it leaves behind the old encasing. Dragonflies do this, crabs do this, snakes do this. They leave behind the old encasing and their transformation is easier because they're not fighting themselves. They're not resisting themselves. And so the higher self is like that too. It loves you and it says, I've got the next version of you. Will you
Yeah.
accept? And if you say yes, and then you say, let me just take a nap, let me rest for a moment. In the
Oh.
softness, you will release, your back will open, your shoulders will soften, your heart softens, and whatever is meant to release in that identity, it will let go because it's time.
Oh
And then the
my
next
god.
vision, I can't wait to tell you what's been happening in our world. Like we had this
Oh.
exact thing, but it's exactly that. And then all of a sudden, everything opens up again. The flow opens up, prosperity opens up, new clients, new opportunities. Everything starts pouring into your
Mm.
experience and onto your path. And you didn't even have to overthink it, overdo it. It literally poured into your path because there are versions of us. So when you outgrow a version of you that's, let's say, here at this level, and then you're like, I'm ready to grow here, and you can feel it, and you can see it, and everything's indicating when you finally lift up to this other level, in this higher experience of you exists the next level of abundance and prosperity and flow and opportunity. It already exists because your higher self has already helped to create it.
Oh.
Your job is to let go with ease and grace. Let the ego subside for a second and let yourself mature, let yourself
Oh.
grow, let yourself elevate up into the new version of you where all the next opportunities are. It's so much
Mm.
easier.
It's so much easier. I just love this visual so much because we've been taught, programmed, not even it's through society, through the way we were raised, all the things likely to bulldoze through it because it's uncomfortable. There's
Mhm,
resistance. It doesn't feel good. So, what do I have to do? What do I have to make happen? And
mhm,
so, the opposite is true. I mean, listen, if your ego's like, no, I can't cocoon in a hammock, I'm going to make shit happen. Well, you're
mhm,
just going to have a longer journey. And that's a guarantee.
mhm. That's right.
So
100%.
versus like it's a 100%. Like we
100%.
guarantee you that.
Yes.
So you get to
Yes.
choose your path because you have free will. And oh my gosh, I just need a hammock or I should go float because the ocean is really warm right now. I don't like
right?
I no longer like cold water, only when I'm intentionally cold plunging. So I'm like, the ocean is warm. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go fucking float. And that's how I'm gonna tap into
Exactly.
her because I know this is a next level thing going on. Like I see it. So brilliant. Before we dive into our intentional higher self activation, I'd love
Mhm.
to ask you my final question, which is around receivership. And this has come through a lot. And if it's come through for me, I'm assuming it's coming through. I'm trusting it's coming through
Mhm.
for many others listening. But receivership.
Yeah.
Wow. Why
Yeah.
is it so difficult to be in this? And
Yeah.
yes, from other humans, but I
Mhm.
would more so love to focus on God, spirit, creator, the quantum realm, like
Mhm.
receiving all that is
Mhm.
meant for us, because there
Mhm.
is a vibrational escrow that we each
Mhm.
have, but we
Mhm.
resist it and we push it away and our human takes over. And so how do we allow that in through like
Yeah.
that quantum receivership, that on an energetic level receivership?
Yeah. So we've been conditioned and taught to go, 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 do, do, do. Look at most of us went through traditional schooling. So we were graded,
Mm.
we were tested, we were told many times that's not good enough, or push harder, or do more. And then as we took that in, we became like that as adults. This isn't good enough. Perfect it. Do more. We think that we have to do more in order to get more. We think that we have to push harder. Think about even like having a baby. It's like, I think about the naturalness of this. We only really push in the last little bit.
Yeah.
We're not pushing
Yeah.
the whole time. We're not
No,
pushing
no.
the whole time, right? But somehow we've been taught and conditioned to believe that push harder, do more, push harder, do more is the way that you're going to get. And this is where we have to reorganize ourselves. We have to come back to the truth. And if we come back to what is truthful and what is natural, and you come back to birthing a baby, this is the best example. In the first part when you're and I delivered all 3 of our babies naturally and no assistance, like full natural breathing. The nurses were even saying, "Do you teach this to other people? Because you're doing this so easily that I wish you could teach this to other women. Like your pain is right here." They were monitoring. They're like, "Your pain is like measuring up here," especially with the twins I delivered in the hospital. And I said, "I'm just breathing." And when I think about this, the three-quarters of it was about the relaxation and the breathing, the relaxation and the receptivity. And we're taught, even in spirituality, give and then receive, give and then receive. And when we're taught to give and then receive, we think that we have to keep giving and we have to keep doing and we have to keep showing up. And then what happens? Usually you hear from women, they say, "I'm burnt out, I'm tired, I have nothing left to give." Creator said to me many years ago, receive. As women, you are meant to receive. You are meant to receive your higher self. You are meant to receive the divine. You are meant to receive insight. Your bodies are designed to receive. Think about if ever a female body gets pregnant. We receive. We're receiving and we're receiving, right? Like we are receiving and receiving. We are receiving. And then the magic starts to happen. Our bodies, our female mechanism is designed to receive first. So that's why I say start your day in receivership. I've been doing this. I did this with my clients a couple weeks ago. I said, we're going to take on a practice for the next month and let's just see what happens. I want you all, especially the females, I want you to wake up every morning and have your gratitude and everything else, but receive. Just take a moment and receive. Get into the feeling of what it's like to have light pour into your eyes and your body, have the divine creator pour into you, have your breath, prana, pour into you, and let yourself feel it all the way down to your sacral, all the way down to your feet, and receive. And it sometimes starts, for those of you that are like headstrong, start with an intention. I give myself permission to receive. I set an intention to receive. And as I receive, what happens when we receive? We fill up, 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 we fill up. And then naturally, there is what I call the overflow effect. We then move into this beautiful overflow where we're not giving because we have to. We're not giving because we're empty. We're not giving because we think that's the thing to do. We're not pissed. We're not resentful. We're not frustrated. We're not angry. We're actually giving because we're in the overflow. And that's a rewiring because society has been driven by that masculine, by more push, push, push. Think about birthing a baby. You are not pushing the entire time. It's only in the last little bit. And sometimes we do require a little push. Even as entrepreneurs, we require a little push sometimes. The push is easier and it's shorter when you've been 3/4 of the time in receivership. So when you are receiving that last push, when you have to like go and go energy, it's one of our sayings, when you go energy, it's so much easier to go energy because you're filled up. That's why when people say like, how do you do all that you do? Like you just created an album, you just released your journals, you just did this other thing. There's a whole other project which I can't even talk about right now. But there's like this. How do you keep doing? And you homeschool and you still look vibrant. And I just turned 48, and I feel healthier now than I did when I was in my 30s. They're like, how? And I said, it's because I'm the goddess. I'm sitting in receivership and I allow myself, I give myself permission. We're all worthy. And this is something females, it is the greatest act of love, the greatest act of love to soften for a moment. You can still go Mach 1,000 if you want, but go Mach 1,000 with a full tank, not on fumes. Okay, so we just experienced something funny. Anna's mic just went out for a second and she sent me a voice note. And what was so interesting is as we were talking about this, I saw this wave of energy go across her field and the screen. So maybe it's done something with her tech, but she's just asked me if I could lead a little guided higher self experience for you all. Okay, so I'll do my best to honor like a 5-minute experience so that you can get the feeling of this and start to practice this. And again, it only takes 5 minutes. So you can have your eyes opened or closed. I'm going to close my eyes because I like to see with my inner eye instead of my physical eyes. And I'll invite you to do the same. If you're able to close your eyes, do so now. If you are driving or something else is happening, keep your eyes open, but just listen and just receive, okay? So with your eyes open or closed, take a deep breath in, just connect to your body for a moment. Connect to your breath. And remember that you're breathing in prana. You're breathing in life force energy. With every inhale, you're expanding with this life force energy. And every exhale, you feel that life force energy moving like this wave. This wave like energy is very present in this conversation right now. So I want you to feel like you're breathing like a wave, breathing life force energy in like a wave. Feel it move into the body and then exhale that wave all the way down. Taking one more deep breath in, breathing in like a wave, and exhale all the way down. And we're going to focus our attention for a moment down into the earth. So imagine this wave-like energy, this wave-like breath is flowing down into your roots, all the way down into the earth, just like a tree, strong, grounded, stretching across the whole planet, so that there's space for your higher self to land. We want to have the higher self not only access it, but bring it into our body. So we're going to open up this passageway. Imagine you're like a tree and your roots are growing all the way down into the earth. Strong, stabilized, vast. Your roots are so strong that you feel safe. Your body is able to relax and soften. You feel held. You feel supported and you feel loved. Just feel that for a moment. Feel the stabilization grounded into the earth, energy and breath flowing through your body down into the earth. And then from there, bring your awareness up to your heart and imagine or feel or set the intention for your heart to open and expand, opening to greater love, greater compassion. We know how to give. So in this moment, I want you to expand the heart, which is the action, and then soften on the exhale and feel like you're receiving. Again, on the inhale, feel like your heart is expanding. And then on the exhale, soften and receive. Just feel your body open and receptive. If your mind is strong, set the intention. I open and receive. My heart is open. I receive. My body is open. I receive. And I'm receiving love. I receive compassion. I receive healing. I receive clarity. I receive abundance. I receive. And as you're receiving, the heart opens and expands even more. The field around your heart opens even more, accessible to receiving even more. And then finally, bring your awareness up to your forehead, to your third eye, and set the intention for your third eye to open so that you're seeing with higher vision. And then turn your vision in and up, as though you were looking from the inside up through the crown, through the top of your head. And your crown is connecting to that higher self, connecting to that beautiful, vibrant flow of light that extends up and up and up. And feel your consciousness lift for a moment. Feel your elevation up and up and up. And as you're looking up, there's this big, beautiful ball of light that represents your higher self, your soul, and it is radiant. It is beautiful. And imagine plugging into that ball of light. The moment you plug into that ball of light, there's an immediate current of energy that begins to flow back down into your body. So there's a current that's flowing through your body and all the way down into the roots. And you're connecting more and more to your higher self. And as you connect to the energy, you're connecting to the light. You were energy and light before you were physical. So set the intention in this moment to connect to the light. I surrender. I connect to the higher self, to the light of my higher self. And as I connect to the light of my higher self, I know that it loves me. It pours into me. And it provides me with everything that I need or choose in this moment. So imagine a color being given from your higher self. And whatever that color is, it's perfect. There are different colors, different vibrations for different things that we require in any moment. Whatever the color is, see it being given to you. And it's pouring down through that channel. We call it the central channel. That light is pouring down through your central channel, and it moves in through your whole body like liquid light pouring all the way through you. And you're going to receive again. I receive this light. I receive my higher self. I receive clarity. I receive direction. I receive abundance. I receive opportunity. And take a moment before we come back in your own time to set an intention. What do you want to receive? The higher self is holding it for you. What do you want to receive? Think it, feel it, state it in your mind. And then see your higher self pouring it into you by energy and light first. It's pouring into you now. Receive. It's pouring into you. Receive. It's pouring into you. Receive. Feel it now all the way through you, back down to your feet, back down to the earth, fully in your body, fully present. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. Take another deep breath in. Out through the mouth. And one more deep breath in. Wiggle the fingers, the toes. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for this experience. Thank you for being here. Anna's asked me to close the conversation for her as she's sitting there receiving and her mic is doing its thing. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much, Anna, for having me. Thank you for inviting me to share this light, this gift. I also want to share and extend that to you for all that you are, for everything that you've held, for this mission, for this movement, for all your guests that you've had on. I know the amount of energy and the work and the commitment to show up and do this, and you are doing that so steadily, so strong, so powerfully. I love you. We all love you. I extend this love, this prayer, this blessing to you that you also get to receive in all the ways that you've held space for everyone, that you get to receive, and that flows through you and amplifies exponentially so that you can serve in even bigger ways than you could ever have imagined before. I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone tuning in, sending so much love to you. Drink lots of water, and I can't wait to connect with you all again very, very soon.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of the Prosperity Playground podcast. If this conversation sparked something in you, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts so you never miss your weekly activation. If you enjoyed the conversation, please rate and review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls just like you who are ready to calibrate to their most prosperous life. Know someone who needs this frequency boost? Share the episode to Instagram and tag me at _Anna Lozano so we can grow our energetically aligned community together. And please remember, true prosperity is about alignment, freedom, expansion, and embodying your worth. Start today. I'm Anna Lozano, and this is the Prosperity Playground. See you on the next activation.